Hello ICT traders, welcome back to the channel. This video is about ICT Breaker Block, one of the 7 institutional reference points in the ICT concept. I'm going to show you what exactly is a breaker block and how to easily identify them on your chart. So if you're just starting out with ICT concepts, I have just made a sequential arrangement of all the ICT knowledge you need to become a profitable trader after watching all of them. You can check them on the YouTube channel. You can go to the playlist. You're going to see the core basics, the intermediate, and then the advanced level videos that will help you become a profitable trader after watching them. So let's get into the video explaining what exactly is a breaker block as taught in the ICT concepts. So we have 2 types of a breaker block, just like we have 2 types of an order block. We have the bullish breaker block and then we have the bearish breaker block. I'm going to help you understand what exactly is a breaker block using a sketch, like you can see right here. So I called a breaker block a failed order block, and this is what I mean whenever I say a failed order block. If you are trading with an order block, for those of you that know what exactly is an order block, if you see a market moving in such a pattern and you see market move and break structure above here, right here, this is a break of structure. For those of you who have a basic knowledge of structure, and I have already made a video explaining structure in this particular YouTube channel. So looking at this, what we call an order block is normally the last bearish candle that price printed before pushing up again, because that's where the institutions have placed their massive order. So we expect price to retrace back into this level, this place, and touch this particular order block and then move up again. That is how we trade with an order block. In a situation where we see this particular order block fail to reject price to the upside and we see a sudden push below it, if it failed to hold price from here, it is no longer an order block. It is now called a breaker block. As you can see right here, it is something like an M formation moving up, taking liquidity in the upside, then crashing into this failed order block right here. So this one becomes a bearish breaker block. So we expect price to come back right here, and then this one will act like a breaker block this time around. No longer an order block, but a breaker block. So this is exactly what a breaker block is. It is nothing more than this. So whenever you hear about a breaker block, it is something of this nature. So we actually call it a bearish breaker because price rejects it to the downside. Likewise, if you are sketching a bullish breaker, it does the same thing. When price is coming down, move like this, come to this area, we expect price to be rejected at this exact level, which we call an order block, this particular candle. It is normally the last green candle. So if price is coming back to that area, to this area, we expect it to reject price and push it down again. In a situation where this guy could not reject price, then suddenly allow price to move past it to this area, it becomes a bullish breaker block. So if price comes back to this area, we're going to expect to buy. So that is exactly what a bullish breaker and a bearish breaker block are. A failed order block, that's the exact definition of a breaker block. I will subsequently show you how a mitigation block forms. They are almost the same, but there is a very slight difference. So look at this. Price came to here, push up, and then coming back, we want to take trade here. Assuming you want to buy from this order block, and all of a sudden this order block failed to hold price and then it crashed down, it becomes a breaker block. So when price comes back, we expect it to now go bearish. From here, we expect it to now go bearish. So it is just like picking liquidity on both sides of the market. Look at this. It move up to this area, do something like fetching liquidity here, then coming down, shifting the market structure to the downside. So when you see something like this, we call it a breaker block. The one that pushes price down is a bearish breaker, and then the one that pushes price up is a bullish breaker. So that is exactly what they are. So let's check some of them on the chart so you can see them in a practical chart. I have some that were marked right here. And then I'm going to show you an indicator on tradingview.com that will help you to easily identify them too. So look at this. Price came to this area, had this push down, move up to this area. Okay, what do we call this? Let me show you that. As soon as you see this as a bullish order block. Do you now understand? As a bullish order block. And somebody will even prepare to go long from here, because it is something that looks like what you need to go long from here. But you saw price crashing to the downside. It is no longer an order block. It is now a bearish breaker block, or what we simply call a breaker block. So price crashed into it to the downside. So what do? We expect price to come back to this level, the failed order block, and then we expect to see it crash down to that level. So this is as easy as anything. So what I do normally, if I'm taking trade, even though I'm not showing you how to take trade with this, is to take trade from there and move to downside. I'm going to show you a different model, exactly how to take trade with a breaker block. I'm just showing you how to identify a breaker block from here. So if price is going back, we expect it to go to that level we just marked out. So you can actually see that price came and tested this level. So this is exactly what a breaker block is, without any hesitation, exactly coming to this particular order block that failed to hold price, and now it is a breaker block. So let's check more example and see where we can find a breaker. Now let me show you how to easily identify them with this indicator also. This indicator is on tradingview.com. You can easily identify them with this particular indicator. Simply go to indicators and search for a breaker block by Lux Algo. This is the indicator right here. Click on it. You can actually see it. It has delineated that exact candle, a breaker block right here. So price coming back to test the breaker block. You know, the last red candle is your breaker block. This red candle that you can see my cursor pointing at. So let me take out this guy. So let's see more examples that we can see. Another thing I did not explain to you, you need to see it pushing above the level, just like I showed you in the example. It must be above the level, above this high. Whether the wick or the body, it doesn't matter. Whether the wick or the body, it does not matter. You need to see it above this. And that is what a breaker block is. And you will see it crash down to the downside, mostly forming a shift in market structure, but not always. But these are the things you need to watch out for. So price coming back, you're going to see it go back to that level. So I just showed you an example of what a breaker block is. Let's see if there are more examples. This is not a breaker block. Oh, let me show you this. Price came to this area, moved like this, pushed down to the low, and then took out that level, even pushing down to this area. Look at this. The last red candle that price moved to. If we take it to this area, can you see price testing it? It didn't test it here, coming back here. So as price came back entirely, it moved down from there. So it took time before moving down, but it actually tested this. So if you are marking, you're going to mark the complete candle with the wick. That's how I do my own. Everything is what I call the breaker block. So checking if I'm seeing any example. Just few more examples right here in the 1 hour time frame. This is a breaker block, a bullish breaker moving. You can actually see that this has pushed below here, coming up. So as price comes back to this last blue candle, that is basically our bullish candle. That is where our point of interest is. You're going to see them so many times on your chart. Look at this. Look at this movement to this place, then crashing into it. Price is moving to that level. So these are the kinds of breaker block you want to watch out for. You can easily identify them on your chart. You can see them so many times, and it is practically easy to identify them. Moving up to this level, coming down, moving down to this place. Look at the candle that came back to test the breaker block and then crashing down to this area. You're not going to see them perfectly designed like the way I designed, but you're going to see them in this chunky way because you are dealing with a real market. So guys, this is all about breaker blocks. This one too can be considered as a breaker block, taking out the highs and then crashing down. This is all about breaker blocks. If you have any question in the comments, let me know. I will help answer your questions in the comment. Thank you for watching, guys. See you in the next video.